It is time for another theme park coasting top 10 video where we count down the top 10 rides and attractions at theme parks all around the world. So join me today as we count down the top 10 rides at Luna Park Melbourne. Starting off with a bang, our number 10 spot on the list is going to the Dodgems. Now these rides are very common around fun fairs, and to be honest, if you have never rode one of these before, I would be shocked. Nevertheless, every time that I go to Luna Park, I just love the 3 minutes of total mayhem as I battle out with my friends for the Dodgems champion, and therefore in my opinion, a top 10 list would not be complete without adding some Dodgems to it. It is time for our first roller coaster on the list, as coming in at number 9 we have SBF Visa spinning coaster called Speedy Beetle. And for you guys who do not know what a spinning coaster is, basically once boarded you will head around a coaster track, which in this case is a figure of 8, but instead of just going forward, your vehicle will rotate in any direction imaginable. However, these are commonly for the older audience, so I absolutely love how Speedy Beetle is for the whole family with its tame layout as well as Beetle theming, which definitely doesn't bug me. Ding ding. At our number 8, we are going to take a trip on one of the most spectacular rides at the park, the Ghost Train. And since its opening all the way back in 1934, guests have always enjoyed experiencing many ghastly ghouls and terrifying scares throughout the last 88 years. If you dare to ride though, you will be in for a treat, as unlike many parks where they do not bother changing with all the retro theming, making the ride look quite tacky, over here on the Ghost Train it has a perfect mix of retro parts like the train, as well as modernising all the props with spooky screens etc, causing even the bravest member of the group to jump out their seats. Are you scared of spiders? Well, I sure am, but if you have ever wanted to ride on a spider leg, then you are in luck, as coming in at number 7 we have Spider. Now, before we even start to talk about the ride experience itself, that spider face is petrifying and will definitely give some people, myself, nightmares when you spin around and see it staring into your eyes. Oh, so scary. That aside though, the ride is actually very fun, with it bouncing you up and down reasonably high in a circle while you are also spinning around on your car, which actually I have never seen on a ride before. For that reason then, Spider is at the number 7 position. For number 6, we are heading across the high seas with Twin Dragon, the park's pirate ship attraction. Themed surprisingly not towards a pirate ship, instead an ancient Chinese two-headed dragon with all of its temples and ancient boat theming around the attraction. It is definitely one of my favourite pirate ships to look at. Riding definitely does not disappoint either, with it being a standard size for a pirate ship, therefore providing thrills for the older audience, especially if you sit at the back or the front. However, not being too intense for the young guests at the park, regarding that they are above the height of 1.1 meters. Top 5, or should I say, as for this position we have Enterprise, and if you want to go upside down without a seatbelt, then this ride is for you. Well, before you start screaming at me saying, is this a death trap? The way that this ride works is that once boarded your capsule, you will start to spin faster and faster and faster, making the gravity hold you against your seat, while at the same time the ride machine is tilting forwards. Therefore, when on this ride you are almost going upside down, you are not actually falling out. But without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, this is for the thrill seekers out there, and if riding, it's probably best to have a sick bag at the ready. If you are scared of heights, skip to number 3, as for our number 4 position, we are going to be taking off into the sky with Supernova. Standing at a whopping 32 meters high, this swing ride will provide you with some amazing views of not only the park but the surrounding coastline, as well as you swing around. Oh yeah, it also provides you a lot of thrills, so you may encounter a scream or two up there. For a better experience over here on Theme Park Coastin, we would recommend riding at night, as not only are the views miles better, but the whole tower is lit up with over 3,000 lights, which is definitely a treat for the eyes. Here we enter the top 3 rides at the park, and coming in at the number 3 position, we have Powersurge. Looking at this ride, it probably is quite self-explanatory, but in a nutshell, your seats spin on a central hub which spins, connected to an arm that, believe it or not, spins also while rising up and down. So yeah, you may get a little dizzy after riding. Generally though, this ride is still very dizzy, but it is not as bad on ride than it does look off ride, so if you are considering riding, take it as your experience will never be forgotten. Also on this ride, if you are in a group more than 4, we recommend sitting opposite each other, as that is just so much more fun when seeing your friends spin at every angle possible. For the number 2 on our top 10 rides at Luna Park list, we have been put under a curse with Pharaohs Curse, and unlike Powersurge, which looks worse off-ride than on-ride, this ride is if not more intense as it looks on-ride than it does off-ride. This does not mean that it is a bad ride though, in matter of fact it actually means it is better for the thrill seekers out there. The best way to describe how it feels is basically a set of chartered swings which go 19 meters into the air and holds you upside down for what feels like an eternity before dropping. Sounds fun, right? Well, in my eyes, this is the hardest flat ride to build up the courage for at the park, and after riding, not only will you not know what direction that you are in, but your adrenaline will be pumping to its limit. The question is though, would you brave the ride? We have made it to the number 1 spot, and the best ride at the park has to go to the old but classic Scenic Railway. Opening back in the year 1912, this is both older than the Ghost Train, which I didn't think was possible, but also the world's oldest continuously operating roller coaster, and that is a pretty cool title to hold. Of course, with it being this old, it is rough, but that actually in my eyes adds to the overall experience of the coaster, and with such elements as a classic drop, airtime hills, tunnel sections, as well as many turns, you can definitely tell that it is an old coaster. For me though, my favourite part has to be the staff member who sits on the car all day and pulls the brake, really showing how the park is not going to add these new state-of-the-art brakes in, but keep the retro charm towards the ride while also paying someone to have a really big ride count. Great Scenic Railway is 100% a must-do ride at the park, and in my eyes a trip to not only Luna Park Melbourne but the whole of Australia in general is not complete without a ride on this world famous coaster. That is it from our top 10 video today. Obviously you all have your own opinions and we would love to see them in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, at the top we have got 2 videos that we know you will love, and at the bottom there is our Patreon page as well as subscribe button. But with all that said, there is only one thing left to say. My name is Tom Derrick from Theme Park Coastin, and I will see you for the next video. Goodbye.